Are you in the garden?
I'm in the garden, yeah.
Oh.
I'm just sitting in the shade. I just thought, why not?
I've been in the park, so I've got a little bit of a glow.
Do you know what? I literally thought you were just about to say I've been in the pub. I wish.
I wish. I was just talking to my friend about it, saying the last time I saw him, we went out for drinks. And I was saying, do you remember, like, we just got drunk, we weren't meaning to, and had such a fun, random night. And I was like, do you remember when we used to be able to do that in January?
It's mad.
How's it going in lockdown for you, though?
It's all right. Like, for me, like, I'm used to working at home. Obviously, like, training and stuff is very different. Just doing what we can, really. I still feel like I'm making good progress. But yeah, it's all right. It's obviously like the same company, which isn't bad. but but you know, like, is what it is. I haven't seen my family.
I just miss having someone to spot me when I squat, because obviously I've got squat rack and stuff, so I can still train.
Yeah.
But I've got no one to spot me, so I'm like,
so you don't really want to kill yourself.
Yeah, if I bail the bar, I'm more worried about breaking the tiles, because I rent. I don't own.
Or yourself.
Don't worry about me.
I'm worried about the tiles, you know. Like, don't worry about me. Oh my god, you're funny. That's so funny.
But at least the weather's been amazing, right?
Today especially is so nice. But yeah, I think we're blessed. It must be because of less emissions.
I honestly feel like the world is just like having a breather. Like,
I know. Nice.
So much less pollution, right?
I know. I think we need to make the most of it as well, because I feel like hopefully it will be over soon, but like, it's one of them, isn't it? Like, you still want to make the most of it. So
yeah, that's what I was saying to my friends, like, for the first, like, maybe even 8 weeks, because I've been doing this a little bit longer than everyone else, because someone in my team had coronavirus like 2 weeks before lockdown. So I've been in self-isolation 2 weeks before lockdown. I went to the gym for my first session back, and it was the day that they were like, the gyms will shut at midnight tonight. And I was like,
no way.
So yeah, and then we got locked down on the Monday. That was the Thursday. So I've like literally had so much time off training, and then I couldn't get my head in the game. And then literally a couple of weeks ago, or even last week, I was like, you can't just piss away 4 months of your life. Like, you just got to drag yourself out of it. And I feel so motivated now. I've had a little chat with myself.
Yeah.
And the weather helps so much.
It does. It does. When it goes like, you know, like rainy or whatever, you notice a big shift in everyone. I think the hardest thing for me is, like, it may sound really silly, but like, I'm finding it like, I'm just finding it hard to like do content on social media. That's my thing. And that's something I'm used to doing like so naturally. And to be honest, that stresses me out a bit. That's probably that's probably like the hardest bit, which probably doesn't even sound like much. Obviously, I haven't seen my parents or anything for like 11 weeks, and then
but don't worry about that.
But social media,
Instagram.
Oh my god.
No, I know what you mean. I really felt like no creativity and no productivity until last week, honestly. Like, last week was such a turning point for me, where I was like sick of my own shit, and I was like, if this is the new norm, you need to adjust, you know. Like, even when we're in, I mean, I think that this is the problem. I was 8 weeks into a prep, so I was almost stage lean, and then this happened. So to go from everything and it being world championships, and I was so confident that I'd have a great chance, to all of a sudden you're just going to be stuck. And my flat is so tiny, I can't tell you. I live on my own in London, so you can imagine how small it is. But thank God I've got that little bit of outside space, right, which I've never used. I've had like 2 barbecues in 3 years, and now it's got a gym in it.
That's good though. Like, if I was where like I live, I've got that's it. And I didn't even have blinds at my place. Obviously I went to Q8 for 3 weeks, and I've just been here like all the time, so I never really sorted my place out. And it got to a point where when we came back from Q8, it was like we had a few days or something until we went into lockdown, and like I was at mine, I went back to mine, and then I had to sit myself in like this tiny little like where you just walk in through the door, because I've got so many windows. It was just like sunlight. I had to shut all the doors and just sit down, like. So yeah, I didn't even have a sofa there. So yeah, thank God I'm here.
So are you at yours, or are you at Mark's?
No, I'm at Mark's. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good.
Just got to adapt, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I think that's the most important thing. There's no point in just sitting there kind of wallowing. Like, you know, I think I got to a place as well where I was just comfortable in what I was doing in this, like with my clients, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, oh, usually I would be doing like something. So we came up with like 8-week challenge. I've like invested a little bit more, pretty strong. Like, so it's just keeping things like going. You can still do things. I think that's what people need to realize. And this is the best time to like learn, to do something new, to sit, to be like, one of the best things I've learned is like that I can actually, like, I do actually have a lot of time, which I've realized now. I'm not rushing around, and you can actually just be and get to know yourself like a little bit more, you know?
Yes. I think that a lot of people, it's the first time they've ever had to really sit with themselves and really be comfortable with their own company. Like, it's so funny because we've got this pandemic, but there was Australian flu like 2 years ago, and I caught it. So I had to isolate for 2 weeks, and that was my time to face my demons and look in the mirror at myself and become really comfortable with who I am. Because if that hadn't happened to me, then I'd be doing it now with everyone else, you know. But it's such a good lesson to learn to slow down and to like revisit your values and like your priorities and just work on some of the stuff that you probably wouldn't have got round to doing, but it is important to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I think as well. It made me realize how fast I was living life.
Yeah, God. Did we ever sleep? I really realized I never slept. You know, like now I'm going to bed at a decent time. I'm getting a decent sleep in. And
I'm the opposite.
I look 2 months younger.
Well, that's good. I'm the opposite. My sleep is like, I don't know. We just watch films, or like we just.
You know what? It was bad. Yeah. I was going to bed at 3 or 4, talking to my boyfriend on bloody FaceTime every night, and then I was like, no, I'm going to bed by midnight. That's my rule. Yeah. Sometimes I go to bed at 9:30 now.
Yeah.
Depends how hard I've trained in the day.
Yeah, I guess so.
So let's talk about post-show recovery. It's for me, I'm doing it right now because I'm coming out of my prep. Yeah, coming back onto normal calories, like obviously not doing any cardio. Because I live in London, you can't really go out with social distancing. There is no social distancing because there's so many people. So it's really difficult for me to get, if I walk on the street, I have to wear a mask. So it's like, and in this weather, I don't want to look like Bane. It literally takes up half your face, right? And it's just like, but yeah, I've just had to treat it like a post-show. And I still, you know, my hormones were starting to go a bit funny. I was getting moody. I wasn't sleeping. I definitely look a lot healthier. I feel, I mean, as I said, I'm sleeping now. But yeah, and I'm not hungry all the time anymore.
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, like, well, so I wanted to talk a little bit about post-show recovery because I did it so differently this year, which you may have seen, or last year. Yeah, last year. I did it really differently. So for me, my main concern was my cycle because I'd lost my cycle for like, I think in the space of 4 years, I think I may have had 2, maybe 3 periods. Because obviously I've always competed like very consistently and like all through the year. So I've never really given myself enough time to recover, you know.
Shall I tell you something? I have my period every single peak week without fail. So in the 2018 season, I competed every 2 weeks. So I'd have a full week on my cycle. I'd have a full week off, and then I'd make a joke to my coach and be like, oh, imagine if I come on again. Like clockwork. So I had 3 periods in 6 weeks, and they were a week long each. And that's when I realized that I know a lot of girls lose their cycle, but obviously something different was happening for me. And I didn't understand it, but it's obviously not healthy. And it was a result of being so lean. And so I was so starving. I can't tell you how fucked my hormones were. Like, it was so bad that I got my bloods done for the first time then.
Was that in 2018?
Yeah.
I remember like talking to you as you were out on your walks and stuff, and you were like, I am so ravenous, like, and stuff.
I've never dieted on such low calories, but then I've never been in such a lean category. Like, masters compared to toned, You know, I qualified for PCA finals in the toned category, and the regionals are quite a lot softer looking. So only at finals that absolutely everyone is dry as a bone, you know, like conditioned. And then that PCA look kind of evolved down until then. But never been like masters lean before, and never had to do. I did like, I'm 5'8". I usually weigh about 65 kilos. I had 10 weeks to lose 10 kilos. I had to go on to 1,200 calories every day. And I was burning 2,800, you know, like, and it was just not sustainable for me. I kept on doing it because I wanted British champions so bad. But I have a corporate job as well. So my job was just, oh my God, my boss made me promise I'd take a year off, which I did. But yeah, that post-show recovery for me, that was the first time I've had an issue with food afterwards. I couldn't stop binging. Like, I was so restricted that when I was able to eat again, no matter what my coach did to support me, I just couldn't stop binging. It was so bad. And I've never had that problem before.
There's someone on here that's just written, hello ladies, my sister's show got cancelled. Now I find her severely restricting and binging. She tries to hide it and I don't want to confront her about it. Any advice? Well, that is a hard one. Especially
because everyone's different, right? So needs different kind of communication style. But you could just start by asking her how she feels, you know, like.
And also like, if she does have a coach, I would be like inclined to maybe just talk to the coach and just get the coach to like find out a little bit more how things are going, because the coach she may be able to find comfort in confiding in her coach before anyone else, because it is one of them. It is like kind of embarrassing. It really is. So I would go from that angle if you can possibly do that. It must be really hard to watch though, I imagine. Anyway, what I was going to say is about the post show is I've done it so many, obviously I think I've done it like 3 or 4 times now, but I did it really differently this year because, like I say, my main concern was my cycle. I only had one like 2 or 3 times in like 3 to 4 years. So yeah, my main concern was, all right, cool, we're going to get this back straight away. Like, I know that you can obviously, once your hormones are firing better, you're more like, your body's in a more optimal position to grow and to live and to be healthy. And that's obviously what you want. So that should,
and your mood is so different, right?
That in theory, like, that should really be your main concern. Now, what I figured from doing this, and this would scare, and like when I've spoke to people about this before, it does kind of like, it is quite a scary thing to think. So you've gone, like, I spent all year dieting, prepping, everything like that, finished my show, and I took 4.5 weeks off of training and cardio. Okay, scary, because most people would say, oh my God, but I'm going to want to eat the world and they're going to want to combat that. So for me, I found that it was actually, it gave me better control over different food and stuff, because my hunger hormones and everything like that, they where I wasn't, or didn't have a high output, everything balanced off so nicely. So yeah, it kind of just brought all of that back down. And because I then had like more energy and more time, I was obviously doing more things with like family, friends, business stuff. So it was keeping me busy. And then obviously in this period as well, if you have most people through competing, I can probably guarantee get near to the end of their preps and fighting little niggles and stuff, because your body is so fatigued, it's harder to recover. You do pick up little
your
niggles
joints
here and there.
They're so fried, aren't they? Like,
so it's really important, obviously, before throwing yourself into a off season, which is again very, very hard, it's important to get that back. So in that time, what you can do is spend time, you know, like, you can still maybe go to the gym if that's where your like environment where you're happy and stuff, but maybe just do some stretches and stuff like that. But yeah, I found it very beneficial to take that sort of time off. I again have also taken off, like, I took a 3-week period off and a 10-day period off, all in the same year. So 4, 6, 7, like nearly 9 weeks of the year I had like fully off of the gym. I think even for like your everyday person who doesn't compete as well, I think it's really important to set yourself like deload 6 to 8 weeks, and maybe just train half of your split, so 3 days at like, or 70% training, you know, nothing to take you to failure, just going through the motions, a bit of like active recovery, a bit more stretching.
But I think this is why I don't suffer as much as some bikini competitors, because I religiously take a month off after, and I just start eating again. I don't reverse. I don't count if it's a surplus. It's more likely to be maintenance, to be honest, because your appetite's so small, your stomach can't take it. But I do, and my coach does the same herself because she competes. We just go straight back up into eating. People might call it intuitively, I just call it eating. But you know, like eating still mindfully, a little bit of what I fancy, sometimes too much of what I fancy, but try and keep it healthy. And I always take time off the gym, but the difference is because of my age, my body is really done. Like, I am 38, like, to train it and do a prep afterwards, my joints are so bad. So I take it off. But it's right what you say, like, everything just kind of normalizes, and because your output is so much less, you are less hungry. And you might spend that first couple of days like, oh god, I haven't had this for 16 weeks, or I haven't had that, but then you don't crave it after that.
Yeah, exactly. And everything just kind of drops back to normal, and you become a little bit more of a normal person because you're not in the gym all the time, so you're doing other things, wearing normal clothes, like, and just, it's just little things like that. Whereas like I've done the whole I think it was 2016 off season, maybe a little bit of 2017, maybe just 2016, I'm not sure, but I've done the whole where you just get off stage and you want to hold on to them shreds. And you're doing more cardio, that you might think, oh sweet, I'm back to it, I can get myself back to it if I just restrict these 2 days, and boom, it's up again, because your hunger hormones are just not balanced out. So the main thing which is also going to help with that is also getting like your cycle back and your hormones back, and it does take a while. Like, so for me, when did I compete? I competed in November. I think I had two cycles, or one full cycle and then just one that wasn't quite, and mine came back straight away 4.5 weeks after that time off. Then started training again and it disappeared again. Then I think I got like a light spotting or something like that, and then now I'm on my 2nd month of consistency. But for me, that's been like, what, so 4 years I only had like 3 or 4, so you know, it's one of them. But it's not just through competing, and it's not through like, because for me it was football as well, so it happens in most like elite high level output sports. So that's something to, you know, be mindful of. Like, for me, I've always had my bloods done. I've had them done like 3 or 4 times in like off seasons, like last year and stuff like that.
I just went to the doctor and asked for mine. I know that people are never really quite sure if they can do that, but I literally just said to the doctor, you know, like, I've just done this bodybuilding competition, you know, like, I'm worried about my health, like, can we check everything? And they just called it an MOT. So you don't have to pay these private companies to do it. You can ask for your doctor. As a female that's worried about their health, they would be like in pretty bad positions to say no, wouldn't they? Because that's their job, like, to make sure you are healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. You can definitely do that. I would say sometimes like the readings and stuff can be sometimes a little bit off from the doctors, because they're doing it on not from an athlete's point of view. So sometimes they may ring like alarm bells at certain, like your creatine. Don't ask me, I can't go into all of that, but like there are a few levels that will generally be high as an athlete, that the doctor will be like, this is high, this is not good. And then like there is someone that I see from Transform Now who deals with athletes especially, and you could take them results to them and he would say like, that's nothing to be worried about. So do be a bit mindful of that if you go to doctors, but generally like, it is okay. And it's better than nothing, honestly. So 100%
exactly that
really do. But so when
you have girls prepping that are really you know, they're coming out of their show, especially the first timers, right? Because they want to keep their shreds. Like, I think for the girls amongst us that have done quite a few seasons, we don't mind putting the weight back on. But especially, I was the same. The first time I had abs, I never wanted to lose them. How do you deal with your girls in your team that are like so resistant to getting back to a healthy place?
Yeah. So to be honest, I don't know if I wouldn't say got lucky, but most of my girls have just wanted to, which is crazy. There have been a few that haven't, but I just work really, really super closely to them, like checking in on them like almost every day, honestly, and making sure that they know what we're doing this for, if that is still what they want to do. And so just realigning them with their goals, making sure that, you know, if they do overeat, I'm telling them it's fine, you know, when they're checking in and telling me like I've eaten this or this or this extra, I'm saying, oh, cool, well done. I'm really happy to see that your relationship with food is coming back. So I'm trying to like almost like make them like, you know, I think I've had coaches before, if I've written that, like I've eaten this, 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 or this, or this, it's like, bad, you're bad. Whereas for me, I'm more like, cool, that's cool. And I take a chilled approach to off seasons like that as well, because it's life. And I just think that helps with their mindset so much more. So yeah, we'll go up to maintenance calories straight away, and like an off plan meal at the weekend. But then I will never just limit to that off plan meal at the weekend. Like if you've got a birthday in the week, you go for that. Like, but then I also remind you can make smarter options as well, like smarter choices, sorry, like as in you can go to Nando's every single day if you want. Okay, maybe not getting like so much, but also I like to put people back to macro tracking as well. I think it's important also, if like people are macro tracking, to try and get them to filter their calories through the day. I know that like most people get hungry in the evening, but I found that sometimes when people have done that and put it to the evening, it can create like a binge effect. Where they have got a lot of calories left and they just ram it all in there because they're hungry.
They eat shit in the evening.
Filtering through the day, really. And then saving a bit.
My mindset after a show, when I think about, so I take my month off or however long it is usually a month. And I don't think about it. And then I just sit back and I think, right, what did the judges feed back to me that I need to improve on? And, you know, what do I want to look like myself? And I just try and rethink. Now, as you said, it's like, well, okay, what's your goal? So my goal would be, who doesn't want to grow their glutes, for example? Well, you got to eat and you got to train hard. So I really tried to stop thinking about what I look like now and start working towards the next goal. Instead of thinking, shit, because I hold my fat on my stomach, so the abs are gone almost immediately. And like then, I'm like, great. And it's literally the only place I hold the fat is my face, which obviously has come off because I was prepping, and my stomach. When that starts to come back, it feels shit, you know, like it hangs over your trousers. Thank God for high leggings, like high-waisted. But I just think about, but your legs are still skinny and so's your butt. Like, you need to grow and you need to eat to grow, you know, and I really just try to think about that next time.
That's it. And I think
improving.
So I think, you really, really, really need to just need to remember that. Like, I've had so many wobbles, but I've never got to a point where I've restricted myself, because I just think, nah, like I can't do that. I've prepped so long, like, so I've never restricted myself. But I've definitely had times where I have like looked at myself and been like, oh my God, like, and then you go, oh, wait a sec, but why am I doing this? And actually, no, I'm just like a normal person. And then I think what happens is you get to a point like, so I would say like the last month or so, maybe where I am now, those like, well, as you go through, the wobbles get less frequent, but like where I'm at now, it's kind of, I'm at a bit more of a place where I'm more just used to me and comfortable again. And then like, I have just started to prep again, but it's like you get like yourself to a place where you're actually like, I am actually comfortable. So if I knew for certain shows weren't on or something, I'm cool. Like I can just, I'm cool where I am.
Well, I must say, I think that your progress, like building muscle wise, like your physique has changed the most in the off season, the most recent one where you didn't try to stay lean, right? You just tried to make progress, and you made so much more progress in that off season than in your previous ones where you were trying to stay leaner, right?
Yeah, and I would say a lot of that comes down to as well, like your stress levels and cortisol and things like that, because you're in a more optimal position if you just chill and let it be. I've spent more time in that state than the other state of trying to go out for walks and do this and do that. Like, nah, just try and like, you just got to try and let things be. And I think that's the best way to do it.
What changed for you going into that off season mentally compared to previous ones where you would try and keep it tighter?
Well, I don't know really. I feel like a bit more, maybe I've just found myself a bit more. I don't know. Like, I think obviously I did decide that I was going to have a year off.
Yeah.
I think as well, to be quite honest, I had enough of, it had been a long year for me, a very long year, hard year. I'd been through a lot. I knew my body needed, like, I tore my calf. I obviously was very, very ill at the start of the year. I never thought I'd be able to compete. So I just thought, you know what, like, if I'm going into the pro league, like, I need to step this up. I need to be competitive. I know that I train like a beast. If I can do everything else around that, then, you know, and obviously I got a new coach, who's obviously Ricardo, very good coach. And he put my calories straight up, really like high. So they were already on about, like, I can't remember when I joined him now. I think it was like probably about, 4.5 weeks. I think I just got 4 weeks after he contacted me, and I just got my cycle back. Like, no, I think when he put me on the calories, I was a week in, then I got that back. But he bumped them straight up. Obviously being with him reminded me that he then told me, like, you need to build muscle. Whereas, sounds weird, but I'd actually been told before that I didn't need to gain that much body fat and I didn't need to build that much muscle in the previous off season. Whereas actually, like, I know I do. So Ricardo's mate was like, you're going to feel uncomfortable. This is a food. And actually I was like, no, I'm not uncomfortable. Like, this is cool. Give me more. But then also, like, I used him to be accountable for, but I actually got to a place where I could no longer stick to a diet plan. And that's the way he does it. And I felt like I was like not being a professional, and all his other athletes who are very high in the industry, like, I was comparing myself to them, like they would be on a plan and stuff like that. And then you just sometimes have to put you first. So I've been coached by him the whole time, except from I started to do my like own thing with flexibility and stuff again, which he was fine about. He said, okay, that's cool. And I was still just accountable to him. But that's also another thing. Like, don't be afraid if you do have a coach that you're gonna like disappoint them if you want to go off macro tracking, or if you want to have a 2-week break, or if you want to, like, just remember, like, this is you. As much as your coach knows you, this is you and this is your journey. And if you need a break, then I highly recommend like having one. So that's what
I think that's the real importance of choosing the right coach, right? Because they can be the best coach, they can have the top athletes in the federation that you want to compete in, but if they don't have the right dietary approach to you, if you don't like their training, you're never going to stick to it. You know, if you don't have good communication with them. I've had 4 coaches in 4 seasons. So, but I've stuck with my same coach from last season. I literally joined her at the start of my 16-week prep for finals. She had no time to learn my body. So we learned it through, but we were already friends. I already knew that her approach is what I need. I need evidence-based. I need macro tracking because I need a flexible lifestyle because of my corporate job. But there does come a time where I obviously go onto a meal plan for the last 4 weeks, like whatever it is. And actually in that season, it was a lot earlier because I just said to her, I can't think about food right now. And she's never had to, I've always known I'm going to be ready because I'll make sure I'm ready. So I've never had that stress out. I freak out about other stuff. I don't have enough muscle is my one. So she keeps me on track, like Martina.
Am I losing muscle?
Yeah, but I've had other coaches that I just couldn't speak to in the same way. I couldn't admit things, or they would brush it off like, oh, don't be stupid, you've got enough muscle kind of thing. Whereas she would give me now, she'll give me my side-by-sides at the same body weight from last season to this season and be like, you've made progress already. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, shit, I have. But I think like for me, having her the way she is, she's no bullshit, you know. She will hold me accountable. She'll tell me when I need to be told. It's a lack of consistency in the off season is my bad thing. And she'll just say she said to me last week, if you don't pull your finger out, you're not going to get world champion. She was like, so it's within your power. And I was like, you're right. And I needed to be told that. But I've had other coaches that would never have said that to me.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things, like, I guess this leads on to our next sort of topic anyway, which is good, about the coaching. But yeah, I think like there's a level, isn't there? Like, I'm sure she's very, what's the word? So she's straight to the point when she needs to be. Yeah. But also I think it's really important to have a coach that is very understanding and can be, I can't think of the word, I think it begins with a C. She just, do you know what? She just gets it. Like, that I need a certain lifestyle, and then we've got another competitor in our team that is completely different to me, you know, like, and she's very rigid and structured and she needs that, whereas I can't have structure in the off season because I've got anxiety. So if I don't follow her training plan, because if I've got like Monday legs and I miss Monday legs, my personality type literally just go off a cliff. Like, I can't have that. But if she says to me, you need to hit your legs 3 times this week, I will. Yeah. Whereas we've got other people in the team that have to be told, and they do that and they follow it and they can't be more flexible. So she's really understanding with it. But the best thing for me is she lives the same kind of social life as I do in the off season. So she doesn't care if I put umpteen dominoes on or if I'm drunk every weekend, as long as I'm still ticking my other boxes. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's important, like, even from my perspective, like, I think that's really, really important. I've got drunk a few times in my off season, like, and on lockdown. We won't talk about that one, when I was six times in the toilet. I definitely ruined that living, baby, doesn't even count. So funny, but yeah, I wish that had gone on Instagram though. There's a 14-minute video. We sat and drank a whole bottle of gin in 14 minutes, and I was the one egging it on. Yeah. I don't remember anything more, but you've got to have fun. This is what I'm saying. Like, he's a professional bodybuilder, like, as well. Like, just coming from someone like that, he was the one that egged me on to take so much time off as well. Yeah. So like, and coming from like a guy, I don't know, it just made me think, I think it's so important to have the right people around you. It changes your entire mindset, doesn't it? Mm. And if you haven't got the right people around you, obviously now it's a bit harder. You can build your circle. You just need to get out there to different gyms, speak to people on Instagram. Obviously, be careful who you're meeting, but like, you know, like, I've met so many of my girls on Insta, you know, like, it was how we connected. We've got friends of friends, so you know you're kind of the same kind of people, and then you meet up and it just clicks, and we've all got the same drive and work ethic, right, and values and goals, and we're all putting ourselves through this crazy cycle of what we do that normal people are not going to understand. That it's so important to have just someone to, you know, when you're doing your cardio and you feel like shit and you just want to have a moan, and those are the girls that you go to. Because if I went to my sisters, for example, they'd literally be like, well, just eat then, you know, like, just don't do the cardio. And it's like, I can't. Exactly. So yeah, I think that's important. You can build your circle if you feel like but I haven't got a circle, but you can build one. You can do anything. You can do anything. And what would be your tips about choosing a coach? Like, what are the things that you've had to take into consideration? So I would say, like, obviously most people will go driven by results, but like, coming from my own perspective as a new coach, like, I never had the results to back me. But I think you need to just be, I think the key thing is to have that relationship with someone where you can feel like you can talk to them about anything. You can put your trust into them. Obviously, like if it is a new coach, maybe you want to make sure they've got like something behind them. Like for me, I competed like X amount of times, like courses, things like that. So I would say that's quite a big thing. But like, don't, just because someone doesn't have the results, I would say don't make that be your like only put off kind of thing. Because
I did this, the same thing happened with me and my coach. So my coach was in a coaching team, but I think she just had lifestyle clients. So she had a lot, she's a nutritionist, she had a lot of experience, and she competes herself, but she hadn't prepped competitors before. So myself and another girl, I think we were the only two that year, and we both did really well in different federations. I mean, she got me bloody British champion, you know, second at Worlds, but she hadn't necessarily had those results, but I knew she had the knowledge, the approach, you know. And then the other person, so there was a coach, he says he's the best coach in the country, and when I tried to sign up with him, the reason I went to her right before my prep is because he fucked me around, and I didn't have time to, you know, it just wasn't going to work. And that person has loads of results, but I just knew from my interaction that it wasn't going to work. What I need as a person was not going to come from that person, the way I work. Yeah, so I think you're definitely right about the results, but you need to speak to the person, don't you, and know, do they know what they're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. And for me, like in my first year of coaching people last year, like I had like juniors that were placing second, third. We were always taking top spots. I had my first client, she won the Miami Pro World Championships, like, and stuff like that. Like, so yeah, don't knock people like that just because they are new. But again, I would go by, so that, you know, how quick are these people sending out their info to you? How quickly are they getting back to you? Do they seem invested into your goals and what you want to achieve? Are they, you know, do your kind of like values align in the way that you kind of want to take things? Are they excited for you? Do they seem genuine? You can get all this kind of, you know, you can kind of vibe that kind of stuff.
I actually am a bit nervous about a coach that has hundreds of clients and they're the only coach. It's different if they're in a team, but how can they fully service your relationship and your prep if they've got 100 other people all prepping that year and they're prepping themselves or something? And I'm just like, how? You know, you are only human. That person, no matter how good they are only human. No, exactly. And it is hard. Like obviously it was my first year. I'm probably going to be a bit more comfortable this time, but I was prepping people who were competing on like the same day as me and stuff, like the British finals for PCA. One of mine came second in that actually, but I was competing that same time. So like, it is really hard. So, and that was one thing I was actually worried about, but it works because you actually have more time than you think every day, don't you, to sit back and chill. But they would be my main points. Also, I would say I did write some stuff down, like maybe speak to their current clients and actually see. That's
like
really, word of mouth is a big thing, isn't it? Especially if you speak to a competitor directly, they will tell you the truth.
Yeah, and I think also like coming from like a competition prep, like if someone comes to me, I'm always like, if it's like a new competitor, I will tell them what to watch out for after. Is this for you? Like you want someone that does actually care about you. You know, if you've been training for like 2 months and you're wanting to do a show and this coach is like, yeah, that's cool, we can do that. Like, okay, you might be stacked with muscle already, cool. But
probably not.
You just want to deal with you. Like you can, I don't know, that's my kind of.
My coach always says to the new girls that want to compete, get ready for a photo shoot first. You know, like, let's see if you can stick to a diet. Let's see if you like even looking like that. I don't like my competition body. It's a tool for my sport. I get to like, when it starts to get freaky and I'm like, oh my God, I look awful. But it's fascinating at the same time. Yeah. And it's not something that I like looking like. And some of these girls don't realise. They think that you look amazing in the pictures, but they don't realise it. You look like the Walking Dead for 6 weeks. You know, like.
You look back at photos and you're like, oh my God.
You know the videos of you talking on Instagram thinking that you look all good, and then you look back at it and it's literally like
yeah, he was like, oh my God, it's mad.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Outside people, I always get this really like horrible where I think people are looking at me like I've gotten like anorexia or something. Like I really do get that. I walk around and I think, oh my God, like there must be, and I'm picking up my cucumbers.
and your lettuces. I'm very vascular, so I've got a vein that starts on my forehead and literally runs down my entire bicep, down my arm, runs down my body, down to my pubic bone, and then I start to get veins in my like shins and my lats, and because I have to get so lean for my category, it's disgusting. And people, when you have your black coffee and your veins go up, and people must be like, fuck is wrong with her? But they just think I'm like some kind of crack addict or something.
It's mad. Yeah, I know. You start to think that, don't you? And you put like, for me, I put like a nice outfit on, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, you look nice. Look in the mirror, and you're like, but you put gym clothes on, and you're like, yeah. And then you put normal clothes on, and you're a bit like.
I went to a wedding, and it had a backless dress because I'm like, I love my back. It's pretty ripped. And then I look in the wedding pictures, and I'm like, what they must have thought. It's literally like a man in a dress with a wig on. Like, because it's so wide compared to everyone else. And I'm like, yeah, don't do that again.
Oh, it's funny though. But yeah, did you get any questions pop through on this?
We've actually covered everything that people have asked about. Somebody did want to know if we've ever lost our hair and if we've got any tips. I actually haven't.
No.
But then I don't suffer with a lot because I'm very skinny naturally. So for me to be this big is hard. Like I have to work on it every day. So I think that my body I can get very lean before my body will shut down, if you know what I mean. But also I only diet once. I do my qualifier close to finals. I don't do the whole year. This was going to be the first time I'd done that. So yeah, for me, I've had digestive issues though. I did get asked about that. In prep, I just live on Monster and black coffee in the morning because I intermittent fast to try and make my food last longer.
Yeah.
And obviously I just felt like I was like burning my stomach out with caffeine basically. And yeah, I did have digestive issues. And then after my first show, I did like basically fish and a rice cake diet with this bodybuilding coach, and I couldn't even eat oats without massive issues, and it caused years of like bloating. And only this last prep and this last off season I haven't had digestive issues because I've continued to intermittent fast to just give my body a break from food in the morning. So I only eat at like 11 maybe, so it's not too bad. I get up at 7, so it's not that bad. But just having that little break in the morning and then trying not to drink black coffee on an empty stomach, which is quite difficult actually. But have you ever had any problems with like hair loss or digestive issues?
So hair loss, no. I have never.
No, I haven't either.
I'm sorry about that. I haven't actually, I haven't had any clients experience it either, so I can't. No, I can't really. But
I wonder if it's the girls that have extensions. Do you get? Because I use clip-in extensions.
I'm going to write that down. I've got. I'm on my podcast tomorrow night, Healthy Minds. And I've got a doctor who's on there, and we're talking about post-show and like that kind of stuff. So I've just written hair loss down. So if whoever the person is, if you just let them know that this may be covered on the podcast at some point. Might be helpful. He might be able to give some sort of info. Digestive issues, yes.
We just restrict so much, right?
I'm still suffering now with my digestive. I'm trying to work out like what is going on. I think I'm going to do a stool test to see. Like, I think I figured out it sounds really weird, peas, which I eat a lot of peas. So I think it's like that. And switching over to gluten-free oats helped me. I
switched to whey isolate as well, which made a big difference. I don't know why, but
I've been using plant protein, and I've noticed a good difference to that, and that's something I've put back in recently, so it's probably my own fault. So maybe I should try and take that out again.
I couldn't even eat oats after my first show. It would, oh my God, I was in agony. Like literally my gut was clenching just because it's not used to that kind of food. So if you do a very restrictive diet and your coach puts you on very few food sources, you do need to just reintroduce them slowly in small amounts. You can't just go free for all like I do. Because the thing is, because I'm a flexible dieter, my prep is there's a quite diverse range of foods until the last 4 weeks. And even then, it's like, I don't eat the same thing twice in one day, which I was eating the same thing 5 times a day on my first prep. It's just restriction, isn't it?
Yeah, that's something to look like at moving forward into future preps for you, is to make sure that you are using a wider like sweet potato, oats, rice, like, you know, try and switch things up a little bit. Eggs, red meat, like just things like that. But definitely I would say introduce things back into your diet ever so slowly. If you work out what the trigger foods are as such, like take them out until you've got that, like your stomach's like comfortable again, and then reintroduce them slowly. And that may be literally like 20 grams of oats like every other day or something like that, until you can sort of start to build up a tolerance again to that sort of food. But
I think that it's really important with digestive issues. They're not forever usually, unless you've got an actual intolerance like a gluten intolerance or lactose. I think that, so for me, I've been competing for 4 years and this is the first year I can eat anything and I don't get bloated anymore. I mean, I get that normal end of the day bloat, but not that pregnancy. People have honestly offered me a seat on the tube so many times. And before my 2018 prep, the receptionist thought I was pregnant. And it was just because I was having so many issues from the food I was eating. But now I don't get it, because I made sure that in my off season, but also in my prep, even in my prep, I was having like a slim bagel every day so that I could carb up on it. Just even half a bagel when I didn't have the calories, but just to make sure I just kept my digestive system ticking over. Because when I restrict, when I reintroduce, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that it is hard. It's something like people, I know that also like going to the toilet and stuff can get quite hard. I would say a good suggestion would be Colonics as well. They are very good. Very, very good. That helped me last year, in the fact of it was kind of like an every 2 to 3 day thing that I was going to the toilet. Then I started to have Colonics, and then I was starting to be regular again, because obviously I'm blocking everything. So that may be a good shout. Obviously it's something you can't do now, unfortunately. But there are like massage techniques and stuff that you can use. Laying on your left side, I think, is it your left side? Laying on your left side can be good. It's like small things like that. Having a break from food for a period of time, like intermittent fasting, can be really beneficial as well. They would be my main things. You just obviously don't want to get to a point where you're relying on anything like laxatives or anything like that. I've personally been there myself, and that's not a great position to be in. You do not want to be, you don't want to be doing that. So try and seek help would be my biggest advice to you. Just try and seek help, and just watch your veg intake and what vegetables you're using. Cruciferous vegetables, I don't know if I'm saying that right, broccoli, kale, stuff like that. Maybe reduce things like that as well. That's very, very, very common. Reduce things like that and you'll probably notice a huge difference, because our bodies find it really hard to break them down. So you might want to just reduce things like that. That's all I would really suggest for that.
Someone has asked, what do we rely on any supplements to help us recover from post-show?
So I would say like evening primrose oil, Amigas, some sort of joint care. I've just started taking one, to be fair. MSM it's called. This one's biotech, something like that, which seems to be quite good. My dad was suffering and he was taking that as well, and he's noticed a good difference. So things like that I think are good. Just your standard like multivitamin, really, just not a standard one, get a good one.
My like year-round supplements, regardless, is D3. I always take D3, and a fish oil or an omega-3. and actually a multivitamin, and then I take like stuff for my joints because I am a little bit older and I am really suffering with like joint wear.
What do you use for your joint?
So I take this collagen. So Prosies do this collagen and chondroitin, and that seems to be really good. And I'm hoping it's going to make me look a bit younger. But the fish oil really helps as well with joints. Yes. But yeah, also just training more effectively, smarter. Like I just used to just smash it out. When my knees were sore, I would just still keep doing those exercises that made my knees sore. Whereas now I'll play with my foot placement. I might just drop that exercise out for that week and just replace it with something else. Just be a bit more clever and treat my body a bit kinder, because there's always an alternative exercise that will still stimulate that muscle. I think that was a big thing for me, to realize that I don't have to do the training plan if I have one. I just need to train that muscle.
Yeah, and I think I had a pretty big wake-up call this year with regards to training, which might be why things have changed for me very well this year, is the fact that, okay, yeah, I'm addicted to my deadlifts and you're never going to make me stop lifting heavy with them. Sorry, Ricardo. Anyway, is actually the rep range that I've been training at is always now about 15 reps. It's 15 reps. It's 10 to 12 reps, but generally, honestly, it's 15 reps. Like that's what I've been doing. That's what's on my plan. And yeah, that was a big wake up call for me, especially seeing obviously my boyfriend when he went to Q8, seeing him doing 15 reps made me think, okay, like everyone's doing 15 reps here. Whereas before in my off seasons and stuff, it was very much 6 to 8 reps.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm much better pump, lowering the weight, being a bit smarter. Injuries, oh my God, I haven't got any. So yeah, be smart. That's what I would suggest.
Trial and error, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I would say so. But yeah, that was probably been again a big wake up call for me this year, is like that kind of stuff. But you can't take me away from those, so.
Not taking my deadlifts. It's funny because I've been dating a power lifter, so obviously they think that 10 reps, 12 reps is too high volume. So he'll come over to me and be like, "You've done a lot of volume today," and I'm like, "I've done 4 sets of 12." Like it's just literally 4 sets of 12. But he'll be like, try and do 6, 8, that's it. And I'm like, but I'm not trying to build the strength as much as you are. I'm trying to build tissue, and I need a healthy combo of both. But I think I've seen you say on your posts all the time, you don't do the same reps in every session anyway. Mix it up and just...
Yeah, exactly. Like, there'll be times where I'll do like, I'm just going to keep using sumos. I'll do like 130 or something for like 3 or 4 reps. And then you'll see me do like 100 for 20 something reps. And it's like completely different. Yeah, you might go on the leg press or something and do like 6 to 8 reps, but then you might go on and do like 15 reps, like mixing it up and just having a bit of fun, really.
Yeah, I used to try and like build up to my top set. That was my heavy set, and then that was it. But what I've started to do now is I do my heavy set, but then I do 2 back off sets, which are, say, you go into your 100 from your 130 and actually pumping out some reps. And that's what gives me my pump. That what gives me my endorphins. I've already like probably PB'd on my heavy lift, so I feel like a fucking warrior. Yeah, but you definitely can't just keep 8 to 12 reps. Just got to see what works for you, right?
Yeah, I agree massively.
I think so. Do you have any more questions that people have asked?
I did take a screenshot. Let me just move. Hold on. This might actually go off. I'm not sure. I'll try and pause it nicely.
I'm surprised my cat hasn't tried to get in the face. Oh, wait, they're going to fight, so you're going to hear them in a minute. Come on, guys. No.
I'm back. Just one question that really stuck out to me was it was about how old, like, is there an age limit to competing, which I thought I would say that one on here, because
I didn't start training until I was 31. I'd never even been in the gym, and I competed that year, and then I took 2 years off to build some muscle because obviously I was really skinny, and I got British champion in my 3rd season, second in the world. I'm 38, so I was 36 when I won that, and I'm going to compete probably next year now, let's be honest. So I'll be 39 probably at Worlds next year, which is still young. Masters is over 35 for PCA. There's an over 40s for IFBB. Yeah. But all the girls I know, obviously I know all the Masters, and they haven't all been training, you know, for 10, 15 years. A lot of us only just got into it in our mid-30s, kind of things started to go a little bit south. But I definitely wouldn't say there's an age limit if you can do it, you know, like you might have other priorities. You've got your family. I don't have a family. I can be selfish. I can be selfish with my time. I think that's a key thing. Whereas I don't know how the working mums do it. I honestly don't. Fucking hats off to them. But they do, and you know, and they're very successful. Liz has just commented, and Liz is also of Masters age. She's older than me, actually. She's in her 40s. She looks incredible. She just won her pro card with WBFF in her first show with WBFF. She's had a pro card with other federations as well. So yeah, there is no age limit for sure, but you just need to work out what your priorities are, because right now I can be selfish, but if you've got a family, I have to think about work as well, because of the stage I'm at in my career. I am management, so if I'm not functioning properly, the whole company's gonna go down the bloody pan. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't say. Because how old were you when you started competing?
How old was I? Goodness, 22, I think.
I would say the difference between it though is the training recovery. I don't recover in prep ever. I am so sore and so exhausted the whole time. And it's just because of age, hormones, the way you recover. But I'm also one of the most energetic and fittest and least kind of like don't get back problems and stuff of all my friends that don't compete, you know, that I went to school with. So it's definitely benefited me. I'm kind of like a spring chicken compared to some of them.
Yeah, well, look at you. It's amazing.
I'm getting Botox the day I can, though.
Oh, I know.
Aren't we all, though? Yeah, and I mean, literally everyone is up and getting Botox the minute it opens. I'm like, you're 25.
Yeah, but it's preventative.
I know. Do you have any, like, final tips on post-show recovery or choosing a coach to share with anyone? Because we've got 2 minutes left and it will cut us off.
I think we've pretty much wrapped it all up, to be honest. I
just think it's about asking questions, right? Just ask people.
Go with how you feel. Don't follow the crowd. And there's no right or wrong way in literally either post show or choosing like the right coach. Like just with post show, you need to really just make adapting the way you need to adapt. You, and you're not copying, or you're not worrying about her over there who's still got abs. You don't know what she's going through. You don't know. You're seeing her eat burger every evening. That might be her only meal. So just focus on is about you. Like, take away these questions. The whole thing is about you. So just keep that focus where it should be, and you will progress a lot more than when you're wasting energy focusing on others. And that would be my big tip.
I want to make one point, because Zoe's just said she feels in between at 32. Just because you're of Masters age does not mean you have to compete in the Masters category. I qualified for the 2018 finals in the toned tall category against girls that were 10, 15 years younger than me. Don't feel like you have to be pigeonholed just because of your age. So at 32, you are in between the Masters and the younger girls, but that doesn't mean a thing if you bring your A game. Like, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, the judges don't know how old you are. They're just looking at your physique.
Yeah, exactly.
And your well, thank you so much. We've got literally 50 seconds left. I've got to go train now.
I've got a live in like half an hour.
Are you doing exercise in half an hour?
Yeah, I'm doing upper body tonight, abs, if anyone wants to join.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to put this on my IGTV, and I will put it on my YouTube as well.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on
Lots
here.
of love. Thank you.